At Bianchi Honda, we want to exceed your expectations for customer service. From our gorgeous showroom and accommodating staff to our extraordinary selection of Honda vehicles and industry-leading service department. Your vehicle should be the best choice for you, and you can find it here at Bianchi Honda. I'm Jason Perico, and I promise to always make it worth a visit.
Always a pleasure.
It's my favorite part of the week, brother.
Nice, me too. We complement each other well.
Absolutely.
Coach, looking back, and you had a time to go over this game, and I got one question that's been on my mind. I actually almost called you. I never do that. You're so busy. But first of all, at Slippery Rock, big break to start the game. You end up with a field goal after first and goal. Did that set the pace for the game, do you think? Or
I think it helped us putting points on the board, to be honest with you, because
Right.
we hadn't done that the previous 3 games to it. But yeah,
What's that tell you?
Yeah, you would have liked to have scored the touchdown there, and we missed a pass in the end zone to a wide open receiver, and we got points out of it though. That was important.
Slippery Rock, very good football team. I really thought their quarterback was big time. Had you seen him other than film? He hasn't been around at all.
No, he's a 1-year guy for those. He's a transfer from Sam Houston State. He played well against us. We thought if we could keep him away from the intermediate routes that he doesn't throw the short one, the long one particularly well. But he got the dig routes on us and fit him in some tiny windows, and I thought he played pretty good.
What were the pluses and minuses after getting a chance to break it down?
Well, I thought that our pass game got really good up until where Zach got hurt during the course of the game, where we hadn't been that efficient, and he was sitting in the pocket against probably the best defensive line that we're going to see all year, and delivered the football. Up until he got injured during the course of it. So we started to get on our routes, throw the ball well, threw it better than we had the previous games. So that's I don't know that we'll see a better defense than what we saw. And we had our chances to still run the ball, too. We had over 100 yards run the ball. No one's ever done that to them to this point. With 8 seniors over there and all their defensive line back and 3 of the 4 starters up front are seniors, I thought we did a decent job. We got to do a better job, sustaining drives and getting first down, because that's our Achilles heel right now. Defensively, I thought once we settled in, that first drive got us. Schematically, they did one thing that hurt us a little bit, and because of the targeting issues during the course of the game, we kept on getting different free safeties who didn't have the same play twice at him, which really hurt us during the course of the game. Really cost us a couple first downs and 2 touchdowns.
All right, Zach Phillips taken out of the game. He looked groggy again. You don't want to speculate, so I didn't. What happened to Zach Phillips, and what's his status? Yeah,
they hip tossed him after one play, and he landed on his head and sustained a concussion at that point in time. He had a concussion, and he's going through the concussion protocol right now. We really, Jimmy, honestly don't know until Friday where exactly he's going to be. He hasn't been dressed up at practice. He's gone through everything that Allison Moore, our trainer, has done with him from a concussion protocol, seen the doctors. So we'll see. Either Tyler Palka or Zach Phillips are going to go on Saturday, and I don't know at this point in time which one it's going to be.
I obviously don't understand the targeting rule. I'm not even close to understanding it. And again, I'm biased, and it gets in the way sometimes. I understand that. But I just don't get it. Do you have any kids having to sit out because of the targeting rule? You lost 2 kids in the game.
The first one was against Christian Carpenter, and it happened in the first half of the game. And, sometimes, Jimmy, I think those big hits back there, because that's a physical kid. We show them the NCAA video that they send us. We teach where the strike zones are with these kids constantly. So he had a big hit in the secondary, and it was called targeting. Now, obviously, I have a different opinion about it, but his gets reviewed at halftime. The referee's explanation to me at halftime was there was not enough video evidence to say whether it was targeting or wasn't targeting, so they're going to uphold the call on the field. When I watch it, I think he led with his shoulder. There was no helmet-to-helmet contact that I could see on video. And then the second, when he got replaced by Dorian Jones, our second free safety. And this is why it hurt us, because schematically they did something well against our free safety. They threw someone through the middle of the line and threw a pass to him for the first touchdown. Well, Dorian Jones is one thing seen on the sideline, another thing seen in the game. He gets in there and gets beat by the same play for a touchdown. And he's like, all right, I saw it. But then he gets called for targeting, which happened in the third quarter. He ran the alley, led with his shoulder, tackled the quarterback. I sent it in to the NCAA. They came back and said it wasn't targeting, so that got pulled, and he's fine and good to go. So, again, we got a targeting call against us that the NCAA came back and said it's not targeting. The problem was we were on Martell Davis, our free safety, a kid that's been playing overhang for us, because we were on to our third free safety at that point in time. So it doesn't help us during the course of the game. So, Jimmy, I teach these kids. We watch the video. I talk to them, and when it happens and it gets overturned, they look at me and go, "Coach, what do you want me to do?" I'm like, "Just keep playing football. You know, they're human beings, the referees. Sometimes they're going to get it right. Sometimes they're going to get it wrong. And it just happens to be that we've gotten multiple targeting calls on us that have gotten overturned this year."
I said this on the broadcast. If the second targeting was in front of the Gannon bench, it wouldn't have been called. This Slippery Rock coach owned the one official, and as soon, not going to go there.
I wish I could say something, but I think there's
know.
some PSAC mandated rules that I can't say anything about the officiating. Look, they're human beings. They make mistakes. It's just we've been on the short end of the stick, in my opinion, on some of these in these games.
Which brings me back to the end of the third quarter. I'm dying to find out what the heck happened. The third quarter looked like it ended. You stopped them. They were going to have like a 4th and 10. Then there was a penalty. Then they marked off about 25 yards. Then they came the other. It was like a 10-minute interlude as they tried to get it straight. Did they call delay of game? How did because the ball was snapped with 2 seconds, because I was watching, I said, they got to hurry. Oh, they got the snap. Then the play was supposedly blown dead. Then there was another penalty. I really was wondering what happened in that sequence.
I'm as confused as you still to this day about what exactly. There was one play where we had an illegal cut downfield. It's a new rule that's been instituted in the NCAA that, you know, I watch film, Jimmy, and I see everybody doing it, and I still don't really understand the rule that you can't cut the second level while the ball is still inside the tackle box with an offensive lineman. You know, it happened to us like 5 or 6 times on film. So, I'm still trying to understand that one. I've communicated with our guys exactly to explain the rule, and I went over Coach Hoig, the tackle box, and what we can and cannot do according to that new rule. It's really confusing for me. We haven't had it called on us, and no one, I see it on film, and it's not called on anyone else. So we're still going to work on that one, but we've taught our kids now just the second level. If we're running speed option or something, just don't cut at the second level. And, you know, it's subjective, I guess, to a point, because you got to see the ball and the cut block happening 15 yards downfield potentially. So it got called on us. It really hurt us because it stopped the momentum of that drive. And it's one of those things. You got to keep on playing.
Well, looking ahead, you know, Mercyhurst and Gannon in any sport growing up in Erie is really exciting for me. It's homecoming for Gannon. Plus, you played at Mercyhurst and coach at Gannon, obviously. So this not only is it a bounce back game, this is really a huge weekend for you as a coach.
Yeah, you talk about bounce back game. That's important because the last 2 years, you know, the first time we lost, we haven't bounced back well. We lost the next game. Whether it was 2 years ago, we lost I think we lost to Slippery Rock. Then we went down to the stadium and lost to Mercyhurst. Last year we lost to Clarion and lost to Slippery Rock. So that's been a point of emphasis with the guys. But there's a lot of cool dynamics about this one. You talked about, I think it's well documented. I played there and went to school there and graduated. But then you look at Tom Herman, who's the offensive line coach up there, was the head coach at Gannon. John Thompson, our defensive coordinator, used to be the defensive coordinator up at Mercyhurst. So there's a lot of them. The new one this year is my offensive line coach is Jack Abercrombie. The starting defensive end for Gannon or for Mercyhurst is Benji Abercrombie. So older brother versus younger brother. One's coaching against, as our O-line coach is coaching against his brother as a defensive end. So that's kind of cool. It's a different dynamic. So there's all kinds of dynamics.
Sidebars.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the cool part about it.
Mercier's coming off a very tough loss, 1 point to Clarion. They were up 28-7. They lose by 1. So it's almost a godsend for Coach Marty Schetzel to have a rivalry game. He couldn't dwell on that, and the kids are always going to be focused for Gannon. So they're going to come ready to play for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, and, you know, they're a good football team. We've watched them, obviously, all week. But for us, too, coming off the Slippery Rock game and a hard-fought one, a physical game, that we're fortunate that this is a rivalry game that's going to be jam-packed in that stadium, and the atmosphere should be really cool. But, yeah, they came off that heartbreaking loss. You know, we obviously got to watch it on film. So this is always a good game, Jimmy. It's no matter what the records are or how anyone's playing, this one always comes down, seems, to the fourth quarter. And last year's game, I don't know that you can duplicate it with a Hail Mary that we ended up coming down the end zone with to win the ball game. But, yeah, we expect it to be a very competitive, physical Gannon versus Mercyhurst game.
All right, I am excited. I know Coach is always fired up. Coach Rzyczycki, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Back to the Blitz, everybody.